I was down for 10 weeks.
I forgot to click go live on the YouTube stream, so we missed that whole beginning. They just cut in there. I of course did that. Sorry about that, Trevor. Trevor introduced us. We've got Trevor Butz, Herbie John. I was asking him about his ankle, and he said despite his young age, he's starting to heal up pretty good, feeling better. Herbie, take it off from there. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, it was. I was down for about 9 or 10 weeks. I was down. It was pretty. It was pretty lonely because after the Worlds, I should have been ready to make moves on the floor, on the NLL floor, or at least just show my stuff. And I missed out on a training camp. I had a exhibition game between Las Vegas and Buffalo, which I thought I was going to be able to be ready for, but I was nowhere near ready for that. So the medical kept me out for 6 more weeks, and first of the year, first orthopedic or first ortho I seen, and range of motion was there, healing was there. I got after it. I mean, I knew my stance after that. After missing the preseason, I pretty much knew where I was going to be if my number was called for the NL. But who am I to say no? I mean, it's an honor. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's pretty amazing. We love seeing you out there. It makes us feel like we know somebody special because we see you in the shot clock, hanging out with Felvo over in the scoreboard. We absolutely love it. Speaking of which, something else I do enjoy. I was a little nervous when I heard Onondaga wasn't going to have a team. I was like, where is this guy going to play? And it appears he had no problem finding a spot to play. So he played for the War Chiefs before, right? This is Garen. So is he your oldest boy?
Yeah, that's my oldest son. He'll be 20 years old here soon.
Okay, so he just turned 20.
So he's not yet. In September,
he looks like a great fit down there with the War Chiefs, Herbie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's back with his he's back with his crew that he grew up with, and those 04s and 05s kind of had a good hand in helping develop them growing up, as well as Adrian John, the president or GM of the War Chiefs. And now to see them at their peak years of their junior careers, it's just awesome to watch them play. There's plenty of them.
Yeah, you've got no shortage of guys. For anybody who doesn't know, Herbie is you're the president, right, of the Newtown Miners Association?
No, I'm not. Not this year. No,
okay.
Actually, I gave that seat up to step up the ladder a little bit and take another seat at the NABLL board as vice president.
Oh, congratulations. So you've definitely been a part of this local. So when you talk about anybody who doesn't know, the War Chiefs are essentially, they play out of Cattaraugus, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're basically like what most of us would know as Newtown guys. That is pretty much like the Newtown junior team. Super successful. They've kind of run the gamut in First Nations League.
Yeah. For however long the War Chiefs have been around, I almost think like 10 to 15 years, maybe. And I may be wrong on that, but yeah, the War Chief they've been really strong organization, have a really good ownership. They know the right things. They've sent guys out west, just for higher development. You got Clay and Chase and Tommy Scanlon, Marv Curry. All these guys went out west after the War Chiefs season when they were just coming out. Ron John, Larson Sundown, they all went out west to play and obviously made their names out there. So a lot of positive that the War Chiefs put out.
When they send guys to the Founders Cup, and they really they've been to the Founders Cup almost every year with the exception of a couple of years Onondaga's gone. Is that correct?
Yeah, the last 3 years.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Yes.
The last 3 years, Onondaga has earned their right to be at that Founders Cup, and which was cool. I got to witness all 3 of them. But with Onondaga not being able to field the team this year, it looks pretty dominant for the War Chiefs right now. But hey, anything can happen. There's some good teams in that junior B loop. Some are just beginning to come out.
Well, with
Some have been
Tuskegee too,
around.
you've got a lot of guys. Like, there's some experience there, but you've got a lot of field players that Randy's kind of recruited. Guys that Trevor knows from playing at the colleges in the area. Trevor's a lot more knowledgeable when it comes to the colleges than I am. I don't know what Herbie's college is, but I mean, they've got a few guys that have grown up playing in the NAMBLL, but they also, like I said, have a bunch of young guys that have never played box.
Yeah, it looks it. I mean, Randy Chrysler's another great developer. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's another good buddy of mine. I look up to a lot of these guys. I remember watching them play when I was little, going to when Can-Am was. I hate to say it like this, but when the Can-Am was the Can-Am, when we were kids, watching Tuskegee, watching Six Nations, Hagersville, Newtown, good battles there.
Pinewood,
Chrysler
I mean, at a time, yeah, there was tons of guys. Everybody seems to have a Randy Chrysler story about, they played for him or they've played with him. He just seems to be that guy who's, he's been around and really, gets around with the area and just helps everybody.
Yeah, that's what lacrosse does.
Yeah, 100%. No, I wish I got to see back in the day. I hear it was amazing. You had Pinewood and all these other teams that were, tearing it up. But again, in there, Newtown has had a fairly dominant, Can-Am career.
Yeah. Yeah, Newtown, like watching your guys' show last week, you Ty hit it on the money. Like, Newtown has always been that team, like here locally. The kids, I want to grow up and play for Newtown. I want to play Can-Am. I can't wait till I'm 18, 19 to play Newtown. But nowadays, there's so many opportunities for the kids to go play elsewhere. And we always tell them, Newtown will be here. Can-Am will be here.
Go play at your highest level.
Yeah. And I think everybody locally, Newtown has made its name because being the oldest franchise, the oldest club team, the oldest community
continuous
team.
running team, the only program that hasn't had to pull out. That was something. So I've got Scotty Lay's podcast coming out pretty soon. We go through a lot of that. I was excited. He's an awesome guy. I've never really had a chance to sit down and talk with him. We went to that outdoor box in Newtown, and that was cool. He explained even the Newtown name. I don't want to give too much away because we got all that coming up. But no, kudos to the whole Newtown youth organization, but unfortunately, we can't spend the whole time talking about that. The level this year in Can-Am, though, everybody got faster. How is that as an official trying to keep up?
It's not trying. You got to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's great. It may be just a 5-team league, but the Can-Am has always been competitive. The Can-Am has always provided, but within the past few years, I've seen where the game is going, and here we are. There's no time for water breaks anymore. There's no time for goalie waters unless you're bleeding out of your ears and you look at me and say, "Herb, water." Most of the time the guys don't even want it. Like over the weekend, I was in Tonawanda, and I'll be honest with you, if Allegheny head coach didn't call a timeout at 4 minutes left, I probably would have called my own timeout. That timeout came at a perfect time because the game was so fast and the air was so thick. The week before prior, I think it was a Allegheny and Newtown game. Same thing there. Just up and down the floor, and the fans had to have loved it. I mean, like, I think we had 8 minutes in penalties, and you know what? Like, that's when you let them play. You hear it all the time. Let them play. Well, give us a reason to let you play, is what I say. Like,
yeah, listen to Trevor too. He said it was a track meet though. Like the transition players. Oh my goodness, Trevor. I mean, you kind of get that upside perspective trying to watch the camera. I mean, my favorite is that transition play in the Can-Am. I'm sure Herbie could talk all about it, but Trevor, sorry about that. Trevor, what do you think about the like when you're trying to keep up with a track meet like that and you're just standing and watching in the heat out there?
It makes it a lot tougher to call, that's for sure. No, those are games are always some of the most entertaining. Like Herbie said, I think the fans really enjoy those, fast-paced, high-intensity games, and we had a pair of those over this past weekend. As you can now see the updated Can-Am standings, Tonawanda, we've mentioned it all year, Greg. They've wanted to get faster and play looser, and they really have this year. And it's looking like it's benefiting them. They sit atop the Can-Am standings with a 10-4 record. They had a point to prove going into those games against Newtown and Allegheny, viewed by many as their two biggest threats. Tonawanda wanted to, take it to them, and they did just that. Came away with two big wins over Allegheny and Newtown to vault them to the top of the Can-Am standings. And I think a lot of that has to do with that transition play, coming from guys like Taylor Jensen being one. He's somebody that sticks out. I know I've talked about Dan Kritkowski before on this show. He wasn't as
Not going to matter
noticeable,
now.
but there we
Jensen
go.
has
There's
a break.
Jensen with an
Jensen
excellent goal to beat the Ravens.
scores.
Fakes high, but drops it down low.
That guy is an unbelievably fast star, but when you watch him in this league, he's faster than a lot of the guys, but each team's got guys that can keep up with him.
Oh, yeah, and Allegheny, tried to have their matchups for him. I mean, obviously we've, seen the speed of Xavier Taylor on display throughout the year, but, how about a guy like Patrick Timothy as well? He didn't get the full game in that one. He was sent out a little early, but
Hang on, what happened? I'm a big fan of. So I've met him. We had him on the podcast before. This kid's nuts. He travels from Florida to play in the Can-Am. Yeah, if that doesn't shout to you the greatness of this league, I don't know, what does. But yeah, you've got guys coming from all over the place to play here.
Oh, he's dedicated, just as dedicated as anyone, and somebody that is a true speed demon out there. It's impossible not to notice it. As soon as he gets the ball, I mean, 3 steps, he's all the way at midfield from the end line. He is so quick, but he did get a little over-aggressive, a little overzealous in the corner, and I believe it was a cross-check or just a hit through the numbers on his man into the boards. Bit aggressive, and I think it was the right call for the 5-minute major. I mean, we have our official here that can tell us a bit more about it, Herbie John.
I'm sure he'll tell you those. As soon as you say the numbers, though, the numbers, I know Herbie can tell you, number one concern out there is player safety, and making sure everybody's safe. So, yeah, no, they something like that. That's so hard, too, though, because as a guy who's played and you watch these kids, somebody turns in front of you, they don't think. They're just running through that guy to get the ball. It just is what it is. But, yeah, I got to ask you, Herbie, what do you think about the rule changes?
I'm fine with it.
Well, I mean, you're used to it. You've coached and refed all over the place, or especially. So you've been in the World Games. You're used to the 4 corners, the crease dives, that kind of thing. It was a big change for me. I love the 3 periods. I'm so glad you guys do it. But you like the speed that it's brought with it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's done. It's changed the game in that aspect. The speed, it speeds the game up. Now, Can-Am has adopted the hybrid version, and when they say hybrid, it's just, here I go again pulling out my books, but it's this book and this book put together.
What's the first book?
The Can-Am Lacrosse Canada.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get you the here. It's a little old. This is the CLA guideline book.
Okay.
So this is what we run off in Lacrosse Canada. This is our guideline as officials. And then here's your National Lacrosse League book.
Yeah, I love it. Really, the only American teams that are in Lacrosse Canada is this Can-Am.
Yeah.
Okay. So now it's a hybrid rule, so I didn't mean to cut you off, but just kind of to explain to any of our fans that are coming from Yeti Talks and stuff, this is they call it the Can-Am. I essentially call it the Haudenosaunee League because that's really what it is spread throughout the Confederacy. Now you got 6 nations with a team again. Each town or nations kind of got their own team they cheer for. But so it's a hybrid rule set, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think that when they say hybrid, I there's only maybe three changes that they go by to speed the game up. There's crease play versus crease rule. They moved on with the crease play, so that means you see them scooping through the crease. That's crease play. Crease rule is obviously stepping in the crease, where the hybrid, we're still utilizing the Lacrosse Canada crease rule, where you see it, and this is what I wanted to touch on real quick with Trevor. I love it how you say it looked good to me, and I love that. But we gotta remember in this hybrid, and I'm gonna say this in the Can-Am, using the Lacrosse Canada rule, you got the crease and the cylinder going all the way up to the creator, the imaginary cylinder. As soon as your feet break that cylinder, now it's your feet. We got to watch your feet.
Okay.
So as soon as your feet break that plane, I'm waving it.
But can't we take into consideration if it's a beautiful highlight? I mean, just a little thought into that would be nice, Herbie. Just,
You'll clip it anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to, and I'll just cut off the part where Herbie waves it off.
So, yeah, I mean, so that's one of them. So now you'll see the crease dive and the reverse dunk. Those are tricky also. I've been telling a lot of guys, one guy in particular has a really nice crease dive, and he's injured right now, unfortunately, John Pierce.
Yeah.
He's got a really nice crease dive. He lays out, but he's so long and skinny.
He can keep his toes on the outside as
he could, but he throws his body. As long as those tall guys, it's all on your takeoff. I always tell the guys when they ask for clarification on a crease dive, send your takeoff a little early. I'm giving my secrets away, but whatever. So that way, your feet don't break that plane by the time that ball comes out, because the ball has to be out of your stick by the time that your feet cross the plane. So there's that. I just wanted to hit that because a lot of people really.
I have no idea what it was. Yeah, no, I didn't understand it either. I just was, talking smack. So now that, because Clint said on Facebook there, they had a little back and forth. I loved it. I love the comment section, and sometimes there is no passion like there is in the Can-Am League. Like the views we get in the comment section on all the Can-Am posts are just amazing. It's I don't know, Trevor, do you think it's led to more points? Speaking of which, let's show up our points leaders.
Oh, wow.
As you get to see the league leaders in points, you get to see a lot of red on that leaderboard, as it is full of Tonawanda Braves. Right now, Gates Abrams far and away the league leader in points. And I definitely think the fan support has helped, this Tonawanda Braves team, as they have put up a ton of points throughout the year. As you see Gates there, 59 helpers on the season, far and away the league leader in that category.
He said that at the beginning. He really was focusing this year on kind of dishing the ball out, being the guy that kind of throws it out instead of the guy always trying to drive himself in. He's gotten way faster. Lane Smith, another one of those big-bodied guys that can just drive it in, but he doesn't have quite as many assists as they have. It's wow. Yeah, I did not realize how far ahead Gates was, even though, I cropped this graphic in and should have paid a little attention to it. That's crazy.
Yeah, you mentioned Lane Smith there for a moment. He's, definitely a pure goal scorer. I mean, 32 goals for him on the year. Was a little uncharacteristically quiet in his game against Tonawanda this past weekend, but there you see him sitting atop the league leaderboard in goals. 32 for him. Owen Hill next closest with 29. Gates himself has 25. And then a few more Tonawanda Braves round out the top 5. Nathan Grennan has 23. And Waylon Abrams, despite his suspension, missing all that time, still in the top 5 in goals and points. And he's somebody that, really has been having an excellent season. And I think if he would have played all of those games, had he not missed that time, he'd be right up there with Gates for the league leading points, I think.
So to learn that him and Goa were brothers, you talk about opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to running their mouth. Like afterwards, Waylon can never shut up, gets himself thrown out, like just an inability. Like, and Goa just smiling all the time. You can't tell if he's winning by 10, losing by 10. It doesn't seem to matter. So yeah, to find out that those two were brothers, because I mean, there's like what 9 Abrams on the team, so I didn't know who was brothers, who was a cousin. It gets confusing out there. That is one nice thing. You could just say Abrams to Abrams and Saved by Abrams. I mean, it makes it a little easier for us.
You know, I will say I definitely had a call there where Waylon passed to Gates or vice versa, and then they shot it on Goa, and I did go Abrams to Abrams, Saved by Abrams, and I paused for a moment because I was like, wait, that didn't really tell anybody anything. If you're not watching it, that doesn't really tell anybody anything. It was just Abrams, Abrams, Abrams. But when you see it, you knew what happened.
You knew what happened. I love it. Yeah, no, that's impressive. The points have been impressive. We did not talk about the First Nation. Yeah, this is last week, right?
That is, yeah, not an updated First Nations standings.
I missed
their
that one.
standings was getting a little wonky with their schedule. Some games.
Some confusion.
Trying to expected, yeah.
Clean some things up a little bit. Also, like Randy texted me after the game, well, the next day, hey, you missed my game. I was like, did you tell me there was a game? Well, no. It's like, yeah, I missed your game.
Sounds like Randy.
It's not just him. I didn't see anything on the league's account or the Tuscarora team account. I did see a Six Nations Fire post after the fact, but I think it was posted like the day of or something like that. But it's like
they're
not enough time then. But
no, in Tusky, the junior team's got 2 more games left. The War Chiefs took a little while to kind of get their season rolling. They had missed a couple games early, but you got a lot of college guys that play on that team. Herbie, you could probably speak to this better. I mean, how many college kids are on that team?
Well, I went to the game the other night. I don't think there's really a whole lot of like college guys coming back from D1. I think it was just local guys finally smartening up, saying it's time to play lacrosse and getting together, getting the boys together. There are some college kids in there, but I don't think I just believe that they set their schedule up even before Tyendinaga had folded out. They had a pretty spread out schedule. Ron John and Adrian John coach Lake Shore, so they've been a powerhouse in Western New York high school field lacrosse for the past five or so years. Also,
all the high school guys were still playing too.
Yeah, so they really scheduled their games around that, and it seemed like coming into last week, War Chiefs had only played 3 games while everybody had 8. That's the reason why you had Tyendinaga on the schedule, which canceled out 2 games in there. And I believe they had postponed a game with Allegheny, which is playing tonight, I believe. I'm not sure if that was the postponed one or not. But other than that, I mean, that War Chiefs squad is pretty well local. A lot of good talent coming up. There is some college guys in there. A lot of there are some guys locally that have moved on to go play in OLA, play Junior A. Which is really good for them, and I'm proud to see that. Aubrey Tall Chief, Blaze Becker, Noah Snyder, just a few guys that grew up with Garen, and I helped coach. They're all in D1 colleges or D2 as well, but they're I think.
This says a lot about your program, though. If you could send some guys out there and it's still, well, plus, I mean, really, nothing beats a hot goalie. All of a sudden, one of these goalies gets on fire. That can completely change things. Speaking of which, J-Bob there, Jackson Bob Pragle, that kid, oh my goodness, what a beast. Isn't he fun? I mean, he is really the great equalizer in games.
And he's still a midget.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, is he, 16?
Yeah.
Technically, he's still a midget.
Yeah.
He's Randall's age. My other son.
Okay.
He's 16, and he's going to have one hell of a career in front of him. I watched another, not to be biased or anything, but I watched another young goaltender come up through NABLL by the name of Kayesh John. He went over to St. Catharines. He was groomed through St. Catharines. He's playing there, Junior B. They're in the playoffs. it's a whole nother game for these goalies that come from home and go across the river to play. But it's the experience that comes with it, and I think if J Bob goes that route, he's gonna have a great career. I was sitting with his mom the other night when War Chiefs played Tonawanda, and like you said, Jason sits up there and counts the shots, and um, Cecily sits there and counts how many times the defense don't cross check. And it made me laugh because goalie moms, they're the toughest.
You got to be. Your kid's getting the ball just fired at him all the time.
But J Bob, he's standing on his head all 60 minutes of that game. That kid's got a bright future for sure coming out of Tonawanda. And like you said, he practices with the seniors. He gets his reps in, and future is bright for him. That's what I think.
100%. I think the future's bright for a lot of these guys that get to play. I mean, that is one very great thing about this league, though, is like the level of coaching that's in this Junior B division. Darius Kilgore, Randy Chrysler. You got just so many guys that are part of it, and even guys that aren't always the head coach, but are just helping out. Shout out Casey Jonathan stepping up in Tonawanda. So I hear he used to be a pretty good goalie too back in the day.
Yeah, back when I played. Yeah, Casey was Tonawanda's goalie, as well as Tonawanda's coach Artie. All those guys, they were my era. Watching them. They started off, just as a local community team. They struggled to find wins, but they still showed up to play. Casey was in net or Neck. I think that's their uncle, Neck Jonathan. These are just names I can remember from Tonawanda. They've always produced some good players, and when I was little, and I was when I was being disciplined, I'd be sent out to Tonawanda. You're going out to your auntie's. All right, no problem. Send me out there. And I got to form family with a lot of those people in Tonawanda. So it is good to see. I support them just as much as I support as everybody else.
Yeah, so Tonawanda is actually it's like Onondaga. The community's way smaller than most people realize, but just like a very tight knit. And you want to talk about a passionate group of people? There is nothing like a rivalry game in Tonawanda at night. I mean, their fans. I don't know if they rival Bandits fans. Honestly, it's unfortunate that most of them are Bandits fans because if not, if we could put the Bandits fans against them, I think it would be an amazing, just a fan matchup.
The other night, I seen a whole sea of orange come walking through the field, and I'm like, "What's this?" And then it didn't dawn on me. It was Tonawanda versus Allegheny. So I'm like, "Oh, Bandits Mafia's here," and I'm thinking, "I dare you guys to chant 'Ref, you suck.' I dare you guys."
We've seen you throw a few out of Tonawanda a time or two.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. That's all I can say. I mean, like you say, the passion. Some things are said. Some things are said too much. So it happens. It's never personal. Just doing my job.
Yeah. No, it's a blast. Unfortunately for us, the only upcoming games are going to be on Stamp Lax, so we do get to watch him through Stamper, which is nice. He's installed a bunch of new RAM in his computer as well, so most of his technical issues, should be sorted out, I would say, coming this weekend. So it's
Nice.
I'm excited. It's been great to be able to watch them up there. We haven't even talked about Grand River yet because we don't get to see them as often. They played a lot of road games early, and now they've been hanging out up there. Another team that's just picked up a bunch of studs. You got the Powlis brothers playing on it. You got Sam Firth, and that's not even bringing up like Jake Bomberry and the rest of the crew that is up there.
No, they got a solid foundation up there. Six Nations is, known as the Mecca. You can produce a team at any age level, no matter what.
Several teams at any age level. Yeah, because I mean, you figure, yeah, you got senior A through C up there, plus another team that travels to, the rest of the Confederacy down here and plays. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, and with their ownership they have now, they're in the league past couple of years. Another good friend of mine, Nolan Hill, Hopes. He's doing good things, and I see this year. I I don't want to say got with the program, but he did what he has to do, picking up Sam Firth, picking up Marshall Paulus. I do believe the Paulus brothers are their family, so
Yeah.
I don't know if any other NLL active players are on that roster, but they do have former NLL players like How Dice Miracle, Joe Miracle. He used to play for Georgia. Another guy my age that I grew up, sort of playing against. I didn't really play against some guys much, but
Obes even played in that in one game.
Yeah. Yeah, Obes, and when he played
Tito Hill.
that one game in Allegheny at the beginning of the season, I was so happy for him because sometimes that's just what people need, you know. Maybe Obes needed it, or even myself, I needed that just as an official on there. But it made me feel good to see my good buddy Obes put the pads back on.
That's part of the medicine game. The universe seems to make things line up when it's needed. That's how Blue Squad started. Without that, we wouldn't know Herbie calling the NABLL games. We wouldn't be, as a lot of the guys like to say, res famous with the kids, where they absolutely do love the Blue Squad stuff. It's been a blast. I mean, Trevor, what do you think about just the talent level, the way it's gone? I mean, you've been watching the Can-Am for a lot longer than me. For anybody who doesn't know, Trevor, when was the first time you started? You had a coach that played now, right?
Yeah, my old lacrosse coach, Chris Janice, currently plays for the Allegheny Arrows. At the time, played for the Tuscarora Tomahawks, and yeah, he told our team, just come out, watch some games. At the time, Tusky had a real good team, and I believe it was the 2018 season where they were undefeated until the championship series when they lost in the best of 7 against Onondaga. I believe it was in 6 games that year. And, I started coming to some games, saw the regular season action, was like, man, I got to check out playoffs. Playoffs were just as exciting and kept on coming back. And it's amazing to see where the talent level has gone in this league, from just a few years ago where there were, some guys that maybe don't look like traditional lacrosse players out there, but everybody plays a role. And now we got NLL veterans coming out here. We have stars of the game playing in this league. I mean, we got guys like Tehoka Nanako coming into this league now. Of course, Chase Fraser, Chris Cloutier, guys that have been talked about, a ton. I mean, we mentioned Sam Firth not too long ago with Grand River as well. I mean, this league is really growing and just continuing to get better, year by year, day by day. And it's kind of a night and day turnaround. And I remember those games back in 2018, 2019. You just get some, very non-competitive games with, like Tuscarora against Tonawanda as an example. They'd just put up 20 on them and it wouldn't even be close. That's just not the case anymore. We saw it a few times with Onondaga this year, but most of the games this season have been real close. And
but even like that one, Onondaga took off a lead. I was just going through those highlights the other day. I didn't realize that, Onondaga started with a decent lead. Like they really started running and then, forced Tonawanda to, no, you're going to have to play us.
They were up 4-2 in that game, and they started hot. Like you said, they made Tonawanda have to play them and play well and give them their best effort. And once Tonawanda kind of got popped in the mouth there, they realized they didn't like it. They responded, and I want to say that first period ended 7-4 after they were down 4-2. So they, got it together and, got, into their rhythm and were able to, get a dominant win in that game. But I feel like just about every game now, as we're getting down to the wire, is really going to be close, and you just don't know who's going to win. It's so unpredictable this year, and I love it.
It is. And Herbie, so I finally have made it to Gilway. That place is absolutely epic. I couldn't believe it's as old as it is. Shout out to the community for keeping it clean, nice. It's gorgeous. Like there's not any spot in there that's like nasty. And I'm climbing around, hanging stuff up. Usually it's dusty places. And no, they do an amazing job there. And I don't know much about Newtown because we haven't recorded them a lot. Tell us a little bit about that team. I mean, you got Scotty Lay. We got to meet him. So the Stevens family, huge lacrosse family. And that Kennedy kid's only, what, 19?
Yeah, Dayton's only 19.
I didn't know that either.
20 by now. He's just another 05, like
he's
I said.
A beast out there.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
kid can
when he was,
play.
I remember in Pee Wee's, when he was a Pee Wee, and there was a protest on him. They protested a game, and they wanted to see his birth certificate. They went through the whole nine,
I believe it.
just because he was so big, and he was towering over everybody, running kids over, and it was just like, let him play, you know. And at the time, um, he didn't want to move up. I remember that, like, he didn't want to play Bantam. He was happy playing Pee Wee's, running running all over everybody. But going back to Newtown, like you said, it's real community based. Back in my day, like nowadays, you're in Tonawanda, you'll hear Abrams from Abrams from Abrams. Back in my day, the announcer Marty Jimerson, he had a really good mic voice, and that's all you would hear when we were kids. Stevens from Stevens from Stevens, and it was all brothers and cousins, just like Tonawanda is now. And now it's all their nephews and all their nephews playing, and you don't hear it much anymore. But I mean, there's still a good handful. I mean, it's still a family community based team, um, in which I think, in my opinion, like that's one of the
That's
proudest
why they
teams
haven't folded.
in the Can-Am. They're proud, they're
Yeah.
proud of their community. They're proud of who they
Cattaraugus is huge too. I didn't realize how big the Cattaraugus Nation was. I mean, so I spent some time there this weekend. That's a bit of a stretch.
And
I
you
mean,
didn't stop by with coffee.
I didn't know where you were. Turns out the only problem is cell service out there. I'm sure that comes as a shock, but it was better than I thought.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say there. You threw me off guard because you were in town and you didn't let me know.
I didn't. I forgot. I forgot that you were from out there. We were out there, and I had never seen the outdoor box. I'd never been to Gillet, so I usually spend most of my time. I literally just go cruise the res. So I'll go smoke and have a couple ciggies and drive around and check everything out. I love the outdoor boxes. For me, that's a thing to see. Unfortunately, all the kids were they were either in Tonawanda or Tusky. I don't remember where the Allegheny kids were, but
I think you were in Tonawanda when you were out here. Yeah.
Yeah, so that there was nobody at the box, but like Scotty said, he goes, if they weren't out there playing, you just seen a bunch of kids out here today just messing around.
But after the fact, when we all got home, like that night, I got home from the game in Tonawanda. I took my boys up to the box. They stayed up there till 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So, so they're there. They're outside all day in Tonawanda to come home and go back up to the box. I mean, it never ends. It's never ending. I remember doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's it really is something. But yeah, I like it. No worry on the arrows. A lot of lax left. So anybody who doesn't know, that's Kevy's dad, Chris Bomberry Sr. I'm guessing anyways, unless there's another Chris Bomberry Sr. out there. But no,
It's Uncle Popcan there. I read his message there, and he's right. I mean, another man I got 100% respect for. Christopher, he really changed that organization around, along with the help of his son and his daughter-in-law there, Lynette. I made a post last year. They built a dynasty. Whether you brought in Kluch, Fraser, and who they have last year, Thornburg.
Yeah.
Whether you brought those guys in or not, Allegheny has really made a 360, and thanks to them and kudos to them, they have really built that empire. But you know what? I mean, again, these teams are very competitive now.
There's no easy wins. No matter how you do it, like there's no easy wins in this league. Honestly, if that Craig Seneca keeps playing as good as I've watched him play, boy, I don't see. I don't know. Series is a lot different than being able to squeak a game out. You play against a goalie that's that hot. Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, and now with unfortunately Onondaga not finishing out the season. It comes down to a 4-team playoff, so 2 semifinal rounds. I don't know what the series may be, 5 or 7.
According to what I've heard,
it's going to be best of 5 in the first round and then best of 7 in the championship.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, I know in the past couple seasons, we've tried, us officials, we've tried to push them to go 7 in the final round, but they never did. But to hear that they're going to go 7 this year, I think I think you guys are in for a 7-game championship series.
Oh,
No
absolutely.
matter who it is. No matter who it is.
Yeah. No,
Like
it
these
is.
top 4 teams,
100%.
these last 4 teams, I mean, I barely get to watch a game, but thank you to you guys, Blue Squatch. I'm able to come home and turn a game on or so and just analyze. And it's one thing I've learned in the NLL is they like to say Tuesday to Saturday prep. Tuesday you start getting your mind right. Wednesday we in our local call, and then Thursday, Friday you're getting ready for your game. That's thanks to you guys. That's what I'm doing a lot. Like I said, I just had a game on, and it's helping me like going to find a call that I feel like I missed. Then I go back on the video and say, oh, all right, I didn't miss it. I didn't miss anything.
Of course, we weren't surprised.
It gets like that. It gets like that. And like you said, with the speed of the game right now, in a 2-man system, we're not going to catch everything, especially behind the play.
It's tough with 2 referees. It's tough for
Very difficult.
the goal line calls too, though. I mean, like, because the refs have to sprint, and you're not talking about you're sprinting up with a guy that's your age. You're talking about trying to sprint and catch up to some of these, insane, freakish athletes that, like, they're in the top 5-10% of humans, and it's like, you expect me to catch up with that with 2 guys? But yeah, they do, and somehow you guys do it.
I do. You just cheat. You cheat the 30. That's
Yeah.
it. Don't get beat up. The number 1 rule as a referee: don't get beat up the floor.
Don't get beat up the floor. I love it. We got a question in the comments for you. Then we're going to talk some playoff stuff here in a minute. But the Paul Decker with the Eddie, basically, what do you think? You've been reffing a few of the NABLL games. What are your thoughts on that?
I did one. You'll probably see me again coming up this weekend. You really want to know my honest opinion?
I do. Hang on. Before we say that, though, Jared Beecher is graduating. So if anybody wants any video, sorry, it's not happening this weekend. My oldest is graduating high school. Blue Squatch is taking it off. Trevor has a graduation as well Friday night, I think. So, yeah, Blue Squatch will be off this weekend. This is actually the first weekend we've taken off quite a while. But
yeah. Hey, you deserve it. I mean, my daughter's graduating Friday night, and it's kind of it's a big thing for me, raising all my kids. My second oldest is graduating. And it's pretty cool. I like it. So after graduation Friday, I'm gonna head out to Oneida. But to get back to your question, what was Paul's question?
What are your thoughts on the NABLL? And yes, he wants your honest opinion.
I wasn't impressed, Paul. I guess maybe it was the week 1. I wasn't impressed. Only reason is I think everybody needs to get on the same page.
With the rule book, yes. Yeah.
Because there's so much unnecessary stuff going on that holds up the game. And those games just seem to be a little longer.
4 quarters instead of 3 periods, too. I hate it. I love 3 periods.
Longer. They just seem longer, but at the end of the day, if you're calling a good game, you're out of there in an hour. You should be out of there hour 40. I think the NABLL has good potential as long as there's a structure for us officials. You, don't just give me a sheet saying you're an NLL official, call your game. I need structure from your league.
Yeah, what are you guys looking for? What's your point? Every year there's a point of emphasis on what they're calling, trying to clean things up. Yeah.
Like that, Greg. My point of emphasis, in no matter what league it is, respect.
Yeah.
And when I did my first NABLL game, I don't even think that entered the building.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I had fun. I had fun. My partner is from out that way, Utica. He's a field lacrosse D1 official. New to the box game. So, at the same time, I'm not better than nobody. I don't think I'm ever going to be better than anybody. I think that
looks like Paul agrees with you up and down.
What's that?
Said it looks like Paul agrees with you up and down the aisle. He just keeps putting a thumbs up every time, and he's about 30 seconds behind. So you make a point, and then about 30 seconds later, I see the thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs
Yeah.
up. I'm like, all
I
right,
know
Paul
I
agrees.
was scheduled. I was scheduled to do the Utica and Oneida game last week, but the lack of officials is real. And people don't understand that.
Well, I mean, you're
And
taking a bunch of shit no matter. Yeah, it's not the most desirable position. And I will say, like with the cameras too, like so that's one thing everybody likes to shout out. Like if there's a mistake, we had one this weekend where the ball didn't actually go in. But honestly, I want you to tell me the last time. No, but I want you to tell me the last time you've gone one day without doing something that was stupid or something that you missed. Like it's just the nature of the beast. I mean, guys do it, and guys got to learn to let it go a little more. Like you want to point it out to the ref, and the ref, but if you do it in a respectful manner where you're like, hey, what happened here? And if everybody could just be logical, it makes sense. At the end of the day, everybody's got to go to work on Monday. Like that's what this is all about.
yeah. And then, that's just another thing I have in a toolbox is learning how to, being able to walk over to the bench and talk. And that's it. Talk to the next man. Because guess what? We bleed the same color. Your opinion is up here. I'm on the floor, and this is my call. I'm going to talk to you. If you're going to scream at me, then I got no time for you.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk as a gentleman, as a man, I'll give you 30 seconds, whatever, however long it just to interpretate what I'm calling. And usually that's what I like to do. I'll give everybody, this is why I called it. I'll run by the bench. Oh, you drag your foot there, on a crease call. Or, oh, you double pumped, I'll tell these guys that. And I think that's where the respect comes in. I'm not going out there looking to kick people out. I'm not going out there to hand out a bunch of majors. I'm going out there to keep the game safe because I wish I could still be out there. But then again, I am. I officiate the game the way I would like for it to be called as if I was still playing. Now,
yeah. Or if one of your kids is playing. I mean, you're not going to call a game differently than you would if one of your boys. I mean, you think about it. You've been coaching in this league for how many years now? I mean, you know most of these guys from the time they were little kids.
Yeah, and that's thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
It just brought back like over the weekend in Tonawanda. I said, "What is it? About 20 years old now? This turf?" Because I remember when they built that box, and the very first event they had there was a NABLL championship, and the first Tonawanda team to win a championship there that year was Gates and Larson and Stu, all them boys. Cheaty was their coach. Goal was their their tendy.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I guess that makes me feel some type of way, like a little.
Well, it's cool. It's cool to watch. I mean, I know now, like I'm watching my son get to graduate, and you're starting to see these kids, turn into humans, and most of them very good humans at that. That's one thing athletics will teach you is it teaches you nothing in life is free or easy. You got to put the work in. You're reading the books now. Speaking of putting the work in, I forgot to shout out CB's Cannabis Club. They have been sponsoring the show, and I completely screwed this up. So sorry, Allegheny, but we do appreciate your sponsorship very much. I did make a sweet highlight of you. Hopefully that makes up for it.
Yeah, I seen that.
Be sure to check them out. They got a lot of great stuff.
That's another thing too. Like for the NABLL, it's bringing a lot of people back out to play. Like if you're not in the Can-Am or you can't make the cut, at Newtown, Allegheny, or
if you can't, right.
NABLL is providing, and which is cool. I like that. Like you said, the clip with Allegheny on it. I haven't seen that kid play in a few years. It's good to see. A lot of these younger guys are, still giving her. I mean, able to give her.
Yeah, that I love seeing it. So one of the coolest things when we're streaming is when guys come up to us and they're like, "Yeah, I hadn't played in a few years." Then I watched a couple of these and I was like, "Oh man, I got to get back out there. I'm better than so and so, or I can still keep up with this guy." And like that's been the best part. And I think that is what the NABLL does better than probably any league is because they let each division build it however they want, so you kind of get an autonomy. With that said, it does make it tough for the rules because guys want things enforced differently. Some of these guys play home and home. Some of them play. It's crazy. So, but what is the Can-Am? An 18-game season with best of 5 and then a best of 7 at the end. So you're talking a lot of games versus the NABL. Your entire season fits in one of these playoffs. Basically, you got a 10-game season.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I was looking at the scheduling last night, just trying to see, what gigs I can take coming up. Can-Am is going to be pretty soft here in the next couple of weeks because of the dropping of Onondaga. I committed to Oneida's 3 home games early in the season. My grandfather is actually from Oneida, so it's kind of a precious thing to me.
That's got to be awesome to go to Mary C and sit there, see everybody. Even though I've heard the turf needs to, what did they say? Somebody told me they need to mow that turf down a little bit and get it box ready. But
yeah, they just gotta, keep working at it, keep playing on it, and utilize it. I was there for their grand opening, which was an honor. It was cool. None of that was there when I was a kid. In Oneida, when I went to go visit my grandfather, I remember being a little guy and throwing a rock and smashing his window. and I went running away. I got scared, and there was a field where the Mary C. Winder Community Center is. It was all field back then, and I was trying to run over to the housing complex, and I got stuck. It was a thunderstorm, and I got stuck in the field. Like, it seemed to me as a little kid, I thought it was quicksand. So when the place got built and I shared that story with some people, I was like, yeah, I remember getting stuck in one of these fields as a kid running from the territory over to the housing. And I don't know, it's just the old story. I mean, I'm happy for that. I mean, I'm proud that Oneida has built that, and they're building another foundation because they have a good program. People starting a program there. They used to be in the NABLL. They used to be in the OLA as well. They used to have numbers, but right now, they're just getting it back. They're using outside communities to bring them in. So I think Oneida might have potential to have minor lacrosse here in the next couple of years.
Minor lacrosse in the next couple of years, I would imagine. If it's not next year, in a few years' time, you'll see them start to venture into Can-Am instead of NABLL. The NABLL is great. There's nothing, but when you've got guys that are trying to make it to the next level, you got to be. You think these Can-Am teams, I mean, especially you get a chance to play against what they did for Amos Whitcomb. I always say this. I don't know if anybody appreciates what Kebby's put in for the work for Amos Whitcomb to be able to stay home and play with his brothers and play in front of his, family. And to have that level of talent and to not have to go anywhere. I do love seeing the junior B and senior B this competitive because it keeps more of these guys home longer. And I also think if more guys followed that Canadian style of wait until you're 21. Think how smart you were when you were 17. I graduated when I was 17. I went to college right away. Definitely not ready. Wait until you're 21. That is one thing juniors gives you a chance to play competitively as you're kind of going through those life struggles. So shout out to Newtown for whoever it is that runs the War Chief, so for putting those programs together because, even like Brandy doing it with Tonawanda and Scotty Davis out there, you need some outside kids. Newtown's a lot bigger area. As far as like the reserve is just huge compared to what Tusky is. So without the outside kids, it's very hard to form a team. And Onondaga's running into that now.
Yeah, I think it's just the venturing. The kids are seeing light bulbs everywhere. They want to go try somewhere else. Which is no problem. But I tell my kids, or I tell everybody, don't forget where you come from and don't forget where you started. Newtown has always been here as a senior team. War Chiefs, up until this year, Newtown and the War Chiefs have just now affiliated. And I really didn't know that coming in. Rumorville's Rumorville, so I don't really.
Yeah, you can't believe much of that.
Yeah. So when it happened, I was just like, oh, okay. I mean, like, in back of my mind, I was like, this is what we needed. To where every team should be affiliated with each other. the juniors and the seniors straight across the board.
Yeah.
It brings it out, and touching on Amos, I can't remember too much of Amos playing any War Chiefs.
No,
I
he
do
played up
believe
in Canada for.
he played in Canada his whole junior year.
Yep.
Even at the beginning of this season, which I was surprised to see him playing Can-Am, because at the beginning of the MSL season, I seen him playing for Brampton.
Yeah.
And I got good buddies up there in Brampton, and I said, "Hey, you got Whitcomb playing for you?" He goes, "Yeah, not for long. No, he's coming home." I was like, "Oh, all right, whatever." And then I think it was like a week later, I seen him playing for Allegheny. So that's usually how it goes. The guys want to play home. The guys want to play with their their family and friends. And like I said, Popkin, Kebby, and Lynette, they provided that. They've established that to where the guys can come home and play, even though their senior A rights might belong in Canada. But guess what? This is home.
Yeah. No, and it is cool I absolutely love it. We've been doing this for almost an hour already. Trevor, did we cover all of the other stuff? I just like bullshit lacrosse. I'm going to make you keep us on track.
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna do a little playoff talk here.
Okay.
Just before we sign off. I think that's about the only thing we haven't hit. But yeah, I mean, just one last look at the Can-Am standings, and the Can-Am did do an update post on their Facebook yesterday, I believe, is when it came out, and that is how it looked. So if it were to be as it is right now, Grand River would be the 3 seed playing Allegheny, as they are going to play them this weekend. Those are going to be some big games. Getting one more look there at the goals leaders, and now the standings once more, as Allegheny Grand River would be that matchup. I don't know if the tiebreaker between Grand River and Newtown is goal difference or goals for. Grand River had both of them, so they were listed ahead of Newtown. They did split the season series 2-2. So I'm not sure what the technical tiebreaker is, but they have the edge according to the Can-Am, and that's big, because I know some folks in Tonawanda that we're not looking forward to facing Grand River potentially in that first round. Travel and border issues, could be reasons why for that. But if that ends up being how,
not just that though, there's anybody who doesn't know, all of these nations, there's people that are married and like related from different nations. So Tonawanda and Grand River have a very close knit group. Like a lot of the guys that are involved with that Grand River team, like Obes is married to somebody in Tonawanda. Like it's just a different atmosphere. So when you see those teams, like there's a rivalry. We talked about that juniors game for last week. That's there where guys, like, you can't explain that. So if Grand River is able to sweep this weekend, that puts them right up there. Now all of a sudden Tonawanda's got to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get some wins this weekend, Grand River could vault themselves into the 2 seed in the Can-Am standings, and maybe get to host some playoff games. As you see their upcoming games, they gotta face Allegheny, so that's a team they're now chasing and hunting down for that second spot. 2 big games: Saturday, July 5th, 7 o'clock, and then Sunday, July 6th, 5 p.m. in that game. Grand River, you got to go up to the Brantford Civic Center. We mentioned the travel, it being further away. Tough place to play, and especially with the travel and border. So we'll see how Allegheny does. I think the Arrows have the edge in that game, but Grand River, has been doing well lately, and they're going to try and protect their home floor, this weekend. And if they can get those wins, man, things are really going to be interesting in the final weekend of the season.
I said I was hoping to get a game soon up at the Civic Center, because last time I was up there at the Civic Center, I won a midget tournament with with Woody Seneca. We won a midget tournament there. His father was our coach, and it's just another good memory to have. And when I heard they were playing at the Civic Center, I was like, oh, I got to get back. I got to get there. But I didn't get scheduled no games there, so
not yet, anyways.
I'll get there.
Yeah.
Hey, still a lot of playoff games coming up.
Yes.
Yep.
And we've got so other than that, without Adaga being gone, there really isn't nearly as many games left as it looks like in the season. You've got the Grand River Allegheny ones are huge, and then Tonawanda is playing Grand River, like you said, and after 4th of July. and then Newtown and Allegheny. And other than that, it's Onondaga. So there's only a couple games left after this. It's really coming down to the wire. I believe Tonawanda is going to wrap up that top spot. I think they're going to hold on to it. Is that a safe bet, you think?
I almost want to say they have it clinched already. I don't.
Safe bet
believe
then.
the tiebreaker would be head to head. And if that is the case, they would have it over Allegheny, even if Allegheny wins out, because of that forfeit, like we talked about earlier in the season.
That's huge.
Coming back to bite Allegheny, even if the Arrows win out, if head to head the first tiebreaker, it would go to Tonawanda. And so I believe they do have that top spot wrapped up. Even if they don't, they would be in the top two. So home field advantage for them. And as you well know, Greg, and of course, Herbie, playing at Logan Field is a huge home field advantage for Tonawanda.
100%. They're the only place for the chain link fence. I mean, Herbie, and what else do you think? I mean, home field advantage. A lot of these guys, especially you got to wonder with the Six Nations guys, how many of them have played box lacrosse outside?
At some point in time in their life, I'm sure they all played outside at a box. You know, every reserve, every territory has one. But as far as, you know, competitively every weekend, I don't think anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody grew up playing in outdoor boxes like Tonawanda has, or Tuscarora started, but you know, Cornerstone being right around the corner, they bought into Cornerstone. At one point in time, all the games were played outdoor boxes, and you know, if I can go back to those days as a kid to watch that, you know, that'd be great. Just to show the kids now and everybody now of, you know, this is real lacrosse. We're outdoor. We're playing on the earth. You know, in the community. So,
yeah, no, I love it. I had the anytime somebody throws something in there, I like the give them a little shine, a little love on it, because the Sundowns, I'm realizing a huge family out in Tonawanda. So yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, and they all are huge too. In case anybody's wondering.
They got my man Stu Sundown in the chat. He's a big man, good defender for this Braves team. Got a chance to talk with him a few games ago. Very nice guy, and glad he's tuning in and showing the support.
Yeah, no, I love Stu's one of those guys I look forward to whenever I go out there. I actually I usually stop at the BBD, if you know what that is, you know. But I'll stop in there, hang out with Stu for a couple minutes as we're getting in. Yeah, I love it. I can't wait for playoff. Herbie, thanks so much for taking the time with us. We really appreciate it. The hybrid rule explanation, too, was amazing. It did clear up a lot of things for me. Trevor, why don't you, I'll let you sign us off, and I guess actually let's let Herbie say goodbye first. But Herbie, anybody wants to get a hold of you for reffing, what is your favorite social media? Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? How would you like people to get a hold of you?
Well, Facebook. The Instagram, I'm still trying to bring that back around. Facebook, but if you know me, you know me. You know my number. You know how to get a hold of me. I'm always looking to help out. Like I said, this Can-Am season is winding down. I am making some calls and some moves to go up north and do some Three Nations games, because the Three Nations Senior B Lacrosse League is also part of the FNLA. So just trying to go where help is needed. They still have the whole month of July to play regular season games.
Yeah.
And it's a really good league up there also. So a little bit of downtime. I'm always trying to look for a gig, or, you know, but then again, you know, family time's good. I got a grandson now, and, you know, I want to go. I'll be in Onondaga Saturday. Going to go visit my grandson, probably hang out, do the night a game Sunday. So, you know, whatever. I mean, if you need me, you know, give me a call. We can make it happen. I'm always willing to help. Just remember, respect is my fine line.
Love it. Thanks so much, Herbie. Trevor.
Thank everybody so very much for watching. If you want to check out my socials, tbutz82 on Twitter, Instagram, be sure to check it out. And check out, of course, all the Blue Squatch channels as well. Be sure to like and subscribe. And thank you all so very much for watching Inside the World of Box Lacrosse.